Sunday, the 13th of June, when Emil made 3 brave attempts to pull Lena's tooth and painted little Ida blue. Cows have to be milked even on Sundays. At 5 o'clock in the morning, the alarm went off in the kitchen and Lena staggered out of bed with the most terrible toothache. She took one look at herself in the mirror and gave a shrill scream. Good heavens, what a sight she was. Her right cheek was swollen up like a big breakfast bun. No, it was too awful. Lena began to cry. It was a real shame, for this was the very day that nearly the whole village was coming to Catult for an after-church coffee party. "I can't possibly let them all see me with one side of my face different from the other," moaned Lena, and went off to milk the cows, sniffling. She hadn't long to worry about one side being different from the other, for no sooner had she seated herself on the milking stool than a wasp came and stung her on the left cheek. You think she would have been happy now, for her left cheek swelled up at once and was just about the same size as her right. Now she had what she wanted, for she looked the same on both sides, but she cried harder than ever. When she came into the kitchen, everyone was sitting at the breakfast table, and I can tell you that their eyes opened wide when the swollen-cheeked, red-eyed creature that was supposed to be Lena suddenly appeared in the doorway. Poor girl. The sight of her was enough to make anyone cry, so it wasn't very nice of Emil to laugh. He was just going to drink some milk when Lena came in, and when he caught sight of her over the top of his glass, he snorted so hard that milk flew right across the table and spattered all over his father's fine Sunday waistcoat. Then Alfred gave a little snigger too, and Emil's mother looked sternly at Emil and Alfred and said that there was no laughing matter. But while she was wiping the milk off Emil's father's waistcoat, she took another look at Lena and understood why Emil had snorted, although she really did feel sorry for Lena. "Poor girl," she said. "You look awful. You'll have to keep out of the way when the guests come. Emil, you'll have to run over to Croaking house and ask her to help us serve the coffee." The Lonnenberger people like drinking after-church coffee on a Sunday, so on the farms all around everyone had been delighted when a letter had come from Emil's mother saying, "Dear ladies and gentlemen, Alma and Anton Svensson of Catult Lonnenberger cordially invite you to after-church coffee party on Sunday." Now it was time to go to church. Emil's father and mother set off. Obviously, they had to go to church first before there could be an after-church coffee. Emil went off obediently with the message to Croaking. It was a beautiful morning, and he was whistling gaily when he turned onto the path that led to her cabin in the forest. If you have ever been in a forest in Småland on an early summer morning in June, you know just what it is like. You hear the cuckoo call and the blackbird's whistle, and you feel the softness of the path strewn with pine needles under your bare feet and the warmth of the sun on your neck. You walk along smelling the resin from the fir trees and the pine trees, and in the glades you see the white blossoms of the wild strawberries. Emil was enjoying the walk so much that he took a long time to get to Croaking, but at last he came to her cabin, which was so small and grey and ramshackle that you could hardly notice it among the pines. Inside sat Croaking reading Småland's daily news and gloating over some horrifying story she had found in it. "Typhus has come to Jonkoping," she said before she had even said good morning to Emil, and she pushed the newspaper under his nose so that he could read it himself. Sure enough, it stated that 2 inhabitants of Jonkoping were seriously ill with typhus, and Croaking nodded her head delightedly. "It's a horrible disease," she said, "and we'll have it soon here in Lonnenberger, you mark my words." "But why?" said Emil. "How can it get here?" "Oh, it's flying all over Småland like dandelion seeds, even when you're standing here," said Croaking. "Pounds and pounds of typhus seeds, and heaven help anyone they settle on." "What's it like? Is it the plague?" said Emil. Croaking had told him about the plague. She kept track of all the diseases and epidemics, and she had told him that the plague was a ghastly thing, which once upon a time, a long time ago, had killed nearly everybody in Småland. Just think, if typhus was as bad as that. Croaking thought for a moment. "Yes, it is rather like the plague," she said with satisfaction. "I'm not quite sure, but I seem to remember that first you get blue in the face and then you die. Yes, typhus is a terrible disease, oh dear me." But then Emil told her about Lena's toothache and how her cheeks were swollen just when they were going to have an after-church coffee party, so Croaker promised to come to Cattles as fast as her legs would carry her.